You turn on Wi-Fi. Here's what actually happens. You tap that little Wi-Fi icon on your phone. Takes less than a second. But in that exact moment, your device fires off a signal, negotiates a secret handshake, gets assigned a fake identity, proves who it is without ever saying its password out loud, and does all of this across thin air. Most people think Wi-Fi is basically invisible cable. It is absolutely not. What's actually happening is closer to spy tradecraft than anything you learned in school. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at that icon the same way again. The moment Wi-Fi turns on, your device doesn't wait politely. It screams. Specifically, it sends out what's called a probe request, a tiny radio broadcast that goes out in all directions, basically saying, is anyone there? Any networks I know. Here's where it gets weird. Your phone doesn't just ask generically, it calls out networks by name, the ones you've connected to before. So in a coffee shop, your phone might be broadcasting, hey, is home network here? Is airport free Wi-Fi here? Is Sarah's iPhone here? To everyone is in radio range. For years, this was a massive privacy hole. Anyone running cheap hardware could listen to those probe requests, collect the names of every network you'd ever connected to, and build a profile of everywhere you'd been, your home, your work, your gym, your ex-apartment. Modern phones fixed this by randomizing which networks they ask about, and also by randomizing their MAC address, which brings us to the spy stuff. The device is lying about who it is. Every Wi-Fi device has a MAC address, a unique hardware ID, burned into the chip at the factory. Think of it like a serial number for your radio. The problem? If the device always announced the same ID, anyone with the Wi-Fi scanner could track you across cities. The mall could know you were in store A for 12 minutes, then store B, then the food court. So modern devices lie. They generate a random MAC address, a fake identity. Every time they search for networks or connect to a new one, your real MAC address only gets revealed once you've actually authenticated to a trusted network. So when you tap that Wi-Fi icon, your phone introduces itself with a made-up name every single time. The router doesn't care. It will deal with the real you in the moment. But the rest of the world, they just see a stranger. The handshake. A router is constantly broadcasting its existence, sending out a beacon frame roughly 10 times per second. It's like a lighthouse, just pulsing it into the darkness. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. When your device hears a network it wants to join, the dance begins. Step 1. Your device sends an authentication request. The router says, okay, come closer. Then your device sends an association request, basically asking to formally join the network. Now the real security kicks in. For most modern networks, this is WPA2 or WPA3. And here's the part that breaks people's brains. You never actually sent your password. What happens instead is a four-way handshake, one of the more elegant tricks of modern cryptography. Both your device and the router independently derive the same encryption key using a combination of your password. Some random numbers and math that would take a supercomputer years to reverse. Then they prove to each other that they got the same key, without ever transmitting the key itself. If an attacker is listening on the Wi-Fi channel, and they absolutely can be, they capture the handshake. They can try to crack it later offline. But they never see the actual key exchange. They need to brute force it. This is why your password length matters so much more than people realize. An 8-character password can be cracked from a captured handshake in hours. A 20-character passphrase, years, decades, effectively never. Okay, you're on the network, authenticated, encrypted, but you still can't load a single web page. Here's why. Getting an identity. You're associated with the router, but you have no IP address. You're like someone who's just walked into a building. You're inside, but you haven't been given a room number yet. Your device sends out a DHCP discover message. It's a broadcast to the entire local network. I just joined. Can anyone give me an IP address? The router, running a DHCP server, responds with an offer. How about 192.168.1.47? You can have it for 24 hours. The device says, I'll take it. The router says it's yours. 4 messages, usually under a millisecond. You now have an identity on this network. But there's still one more thing. To reach anything on the internet, not just your local network, your device needs to know how to get there. It needs the address of a default gateway, the router's internal IP, and a DNS server, which translates names like google.com into actual IP addresses. Both of these are handed to you automatically in that DHCP exchange. You never think about it. It just works. The last mile of magic. Here's something almost nobody thinks about. Your router has 2 completely different IP addresses. One faces inward toward your devices, something like 192.168.1.1. One faces outward toward the internet, a public IP signed by your ISP. When you make a request, say loading YouTube, your device sends it to the router. The router reroutes the packet, replacing your private IP with this public one, and forwards it to the internet. When the response comes back, the router looks at its translation table and sends it back to you. This is called NAT, Network Address Translation. It's why thousands of devices in a building can share a single public IP. It's also why if you ever try to host a game server or run something from home, you've had to deal with port forwarding. Because from the outside, all those devices are invisible behind one address. The internet doesn't know you exist, it only knows your router. What nobody tells you about, connected. Here's the last piece, and it's the one that changes how you use public Wi-Fi forever. When you connect to a network, encryption only protects the air between you and the router. Your data travels encrypted through that invisible gap. But once it hits the router, that encryption is gone. At the network level, the router sees everything in plain text, unless the application layer. HTTPS, for example, has its own encryption. On the network, you don't control a cafe, a hotel, an airport. The person running that router can see unencrypted traffic. They can see which domains you're visiting, metadata, timing, device fingerprints. This is why HTTPS matters. This is why a VPN on public Wi-Fi isn't paranoia. It's just understanding what the technology actually does and doesn't protect. You're not being encrypted by Wi-Fi. You're being encrypted from someone overhearing the radio signal. That's a much smaller guarantee than most people assume. So you tapped that Wi-Fi icon. Your phone lied about who it was, screamed into the void, proved your identity without saying your password, got inside the secret room number, and then hid behind your router's face, talked to the internet. All of that on 1 second. The mundane stuff, the icons you tap 50 times a day, those are usually where the most interesting engineering lives. If you want more of this, the video on what actually happens when you send a text message is going to break you in the best way. See you there.